guys, how's it going? Actually, before I watched Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, I had gone out with my wife to see The Incredibles Part 2. That was before we went on our belated honeymoon. And, you know, I went in with pretty high expectations. It had been a while, and the first one is like, I mean, probably in the top like 2 or 3 best Pixar movies ever. And I'd always wondered why they never made a sequel. You know, I had heard rumors that there was some sort of a copyright issue because it was too similar to Fantastic Four, which didn't make any sense to me because it's like, I believe spoofs are out of copyright. Like if you're spoofing something, that's like totally open season. Regardless of that fact, I guess the director just waited 14 freaking years to do this movie because he really just wanted to make it good. And the thing that I found amazing right off the bat, incredible, if you will, is that it picks up like literally exactly where the first Incredibles leaves off. You think that it's just a like, surprise ending or something like that. It's like, no, it literally picks up right where the Incredibles 1 left off, which I think is just freaking so cool. I will say that I predicted pretty early on who the villain actually was. Regardless of that fact, this movie was really good. The writing was very, very, very intelligent. Like, almost to a point where it might be past some kids, you know what I mean? Like, maybe you even can't take, like, a little kid to see this. Not because of, like, any inappropriate content, but just because, like, the themes are very adult. The dialogue in a lot of places is very adult. And the thing that I like about it is, even though it is a comedy, it is also a superhero movie. Really, really enjoyed it. I would pretty much put it on par with the first one. I mean, I think that the only, if there was any quote-unquote negative thing that I had to say about it, was that one thing, that I knew who the villain was at the very beginning. But they introduce a lot more superheroes, and they're all really cool, and the family dynamic is cool. This one fits in a little bit more with this era in that, you know, a lot of it has more to do with Mrs. Incredible, and sort of like when they switch the parenting roles, and Mrs. Incredible's going out making the cash, and Mr. Incredible's inside, you know, watching the kids and totally fucking up. You know, it was a great dynamic. Honestly, even if it takes them another 14 years, I think it would be cool to see an Incredibles 3, but I don't know. We'll see, I guess. The other thing that I wanted to bring up, and this is another, I believe it's a Walt Disney production, but I saw the trailer for it actually before Jurassic World, and I also saw the trailer for it before The Incredibles 2, and that is The Grinch, which apparently Benedict Cumberbatch is doing the voice of the Grinch. And I love Benedict Cumberbatch? I think it's Cumberbatch, whatever. So Batch of Cucumbers is starring as the Grinch, and I can't help but feel like, haven't we seen this shit before? The original cartoon with the songs that was narrated by Boris Karloff was fucking brilliant. It was a great little cartoon. It was a really simple idea, and it was only a half hour long, and it was perfect. Ron Howard, and don't get me wrong, I like Ron Howard, and, you know, as a person, and actually as a director too, I mostly like his movies. But, you know, he already tried to do a revamp of How the Grinch Stole Christmas early last decade. And the problem that I had with it was, they stretched the fuck out of it. They milked it so fucking much. They gave the Grinch like a backstory where he was bullied, and it's like there's this whole moral dilemma where like the people from Whoville are actually kind of the dicks, and it's sort of like, why? Like, why do you need to like complicate it so much? Like, for what purpose did you do that? It's like, it's a simple fantasy. The Grinch doesn't need a backstory. He's just the fucking Grinch. So it's like they did that, and that was my thought on the movie. I mean, I think that Jim Carrey put his all into it, and I think that Ron Howard really cared about the project. I just think that their idea was a little off. I felt the same way about the Polar Express movie. It's based on a fucking children's book that's like, you know, what, like 30 pages long? It's like, dude, like, how are you gonna turn that into a feature-length film without kind of ruining it? So now that they did How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey, now they have to do another computer-generated one. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, a lot of it looked, the tongue-in-cheekery of it looked really dumb, like in the trailer, but again, it's like you see images of the Grinch, and he's left at an orphanage during Christmas, and he's all alone, looking down at the people of Whoville, and it's like, why does the Grinch need a backstory? He doesn't need a backstory, he's the fucking Grinch. But go see Incredibles 2. Good movie.